Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the V Spot. So this is the first episode of 2023, and I want to begin by saying Happy New Year, right? Happy 2023. And it's not so much about being happy. What I want to extend to you in this particular wish is a fulfilled 2023, whatever that looks like to you, right? Because it's different for each of us. And so I may just turn it into a tradition of saying fulfilled new year, right? May you experience everything that your heart desires, because that's actually my wish for you. While happiness and joy is certainly a part of it, I'm clear that there are other experiences too. And so whatever it is for you, may you experience it on purpose, right? By harnessing the power of intention in 2023. So I want to begin by wishing you, well wishes. The next thing I want to actually spotlight, and I talked about it in the last episode or two of the podcast in 2022, was this premise of new year, same you, right? It's a new year and it's the same you. But my question that I was posing in December of 2022 was, what will you do differently in 2023 to experience a different year, right? To experience your life differently. And so that's my question to you. It's a new year, same you, but what will you do differently in 2023 to have you experience yourself and your life in a different way, to have you experience the results that you desire in particular areas in a new way, right? And so I want you to hold that question close. What will I do differently this year as we talk about pursuing all of your dreams? Now, another thing I highlighted in a couple of the episodes as we were wrapping up 2022 is that your version of success is very different from my version of success. There may be some overlap, but our version of success is highly personal. What it looks like for you is very different because it's what is important to you. So if you are pursuing, let's say, a financial goal, then your version of success may incorporate numbers, right? If you're in pursuit of a loving relationship, then your version of success will be having that relationship come true. If your version of success involves, releasing 20 pounds, then that's what success is going to embody for you. And so I really want to encourage and urge you as we are in, just out of the gate, if you will, for 2023, to keep your blinders on. Don't worry so much about what so-and-so is doing, what the next person is doing. Be very connected to your version of success so that you are not in comparison to others. You are not, tweaking your goals because you think that, oh, that one sounds like, oh, that sounds big, I should do that. Or, wow, so-and-so is up to A, B, and C. Run your race. Right. And in some cases, it's not even about a race. It's about keeping pace and staying in motion, whether that be by walking, whether that be by dancing, whether that be by running. Right. But you get where I'm going with this. Stay connected to your journey, not necessarily looking at the journey of others. So I want to keep in mind this aspect of what will I do differently this year, in order to turn out results and have my goals come, have my dreams. I'm constantly interchanging words, goals, desires, dreams, resolutions. They can be interchanged. So connect to whichever word you feel connected to. But the essence of this conversation is, what will I do differently this year in the name of achieving a level of success that I haven't met yet? Right. And so keep that question close as we continue to have the conversation, because it's really a check-in around commitment, inspired and committed action. Where are you willing to commit? What are you willing to commit to? Who do you need to become to turn your goals out? Right? Do you need to access a new disciplined version of yourself? a consistent version of yourself, a bold and audacious version of yourself, a courageous and trusting version of yourself, a vulnerable and authentic version of yourself. Who do you need to become to move the needle in the direction of all of your dreams? And this is what we want to start to connect to, because that person isn't far off over there. We can start to be the things we need to be in this very moment. It requires us to choose it, right? So I want us to not only think about what am I going to do differently this year? I want us to go the next level and say, what version of me do I need to access now to start to embody and be who I need to be to have it all happen, right? Because new year, same you, but let's choose different ways of showing up in the name of turning the things out. So if the goal that we set for ourselves involves risk and, being out there, what are we doing to actually step into that? Right. And that can happen now. It doesn't have to be a month from now, 3 months from now. And the reason why I wanted to begin this, year with the episode New Year, Same You, is because as we move further and further away from January, there's a tendency to move further and further away from the commitments pertaining to the goals that we set for ourselves. And so I want us to stay committed to the conversation so that we don't actually get too far away from all of the things. And we commit and we recommit and we tweak and we commit and we recommit and we tweak, all in the name of turning your dreams out. Right. And so with that all being said, I want to also acknowledge in this episode that many, many people are struggling right now. Call it what you may, right? It could be because of the holiday season. There's a tendency for the holidays to kick up a lot of emotion, a lot of grief, a lot of loss. If loved ones are no longer with us, there's an experience of nostalgia and missing our people, right? And so plenty of people that I've connected to recently are just coming off of the heels of the holidays and how so much came up for them pertaining to that particular piece, right? There's also the aspect of the holidays kicking up all of the stuff with family, right? Oftentimes getting together with family can be jarring and triggering in ways because you're bringing together lots of personalities and lots of dynamics, and it brings up a lot of emotion. And so maybe that's it. There's also this aspect of I'm in New York City, I'm in Brooklyn, and here we are experiencing winter. And so many people that I've talked to are struggling with the fact that it gets dark so early and they're up against like a seasonal depression, on top of life in general. And so there's an added level of, things feeling hard. Right. And so I can share with you firsthand that I have absolutely been in a season of pushing through because life does feel a bit hard, and there's lots of reasons why, and then there's no reason why, right? But the power is at least I have found for myself, is acknowledging, wow, things are feeling hard now, right? And so the ability to plug in supports and give grace, to self, where sometimes it's just like, that was my best today, that was my best today. And so I want to acknowledge it because I know that from conversations with tons of clients to conversations with various friends and family members and numerous people in different social settings, it's been a common expression of, wow, things are hard. And so here we are, and this is the case generally, right? In a new year, wanting to create a new, and that's what the resolutions are about, by the way. It's about opportunity and creation and blank canvas and wanting to call forth and manifest for yourself what it is that you desire. And that's what's so advantageous and attractive about goal setting at this particular time. And then where we find ourselves in winter, up against some variables, right? And so there's important value in acknowledging that this is all occurring at the same time. And so I wanted to shine the light in this episode on the fact that you are not alone, right? Life may feel hard right now. Mundane, small, daily tasks may occur as like an extra push. And you're not doing this thing called life wrong because that's happening, right? You're up against some real variables, and it's okay to not always be okay. Some days are harder than others. Some hours are harder than others. Some weeks, months, right? Some years, however you want to look at it. But the important piece that I want to shine the light on right now is that you're not alone, because it can sometimes feel very isolating in the experience. And I know firsthand that I have felt that way. And that's why I've been exceptionally grateful to have safe people to turn to say, I don't know, but this is really occurring as hard, like things that normally don't. And, how I'm like trying to break through that struggle in the name of the greater vision. Right. And it's real out here. It's real. And so I want to hold space for you and acknowledge that it's real for so many different reasons, because otherwise a lot of what we go through can swirl in our minds. And there can be this isolating experience of like, how come I'm struggling so much? And let's say you look on social media and it seems as though no one else is. Right? Who's posting, who's traveling, who's doing the thing, and it's important in this moment to connect to the fact that what we see on social media is highlights. It's not the everyday, all day, and sometimes it can feel that way. I know that sometimes I check into that where I'm like, wow, it seems so, but then it's the reminder of it's a highlight reel for a reason. You all see, highlights in my sharing. You're not necessarily seeing the struggle. You're not seeing when it's like the fall down happens. You hear about it because I talk transparently about, the breakdowns and the breakthroughs and the overcoming and the struggle and all of it. But when we're in like scroll mode, you don't necessarily always detect that. So I just want to remind you that you are not falling behind. You're not late. You're not doing this thing wrong. If you are struggling, you're struggling for various reasons that require and deserve attention. And that's the name of the intentional healing and wellness game, is to shine the light on all things that are happening to us so that we're able to, really experience the human experience in a way that it deserves, in a way that you deserve to have your experience, right? And yes, that deserves to happen in the month of December, just as much as it deserves to happen in the month of June, just as much as it deserves to happen in April. And here we are in January, right? So there could be a lot of hype around the new year. And I shared this in a post, like now that all the hype is over, because it's estimated that 70% of people will stop and abandon their resolutions by January 19th. So you're going to lose like all the come on is going to simmer down. I don't want it to simmer down here, because what we're talking about is calling forth all the things you desire for the life that you dream of. Whatever it is that you want, whether it be by way of career, relationship, wellness, money, creativity, passion projects, legacy work, all of it. Let's keep talking about it just as much as we're talking about it on, December 30th, as we were on January 1st, and we continue to. Let's not lose the steam, because that can sometimes happen. Right. So as I prepare to wrap up this episode, I want to remind you of a couple of pieces that I highlighted today, which is new year, same you, but what are you going to do differently this year to make your dreams come true? And what version of you do you need to access to have that happen? Right. And if it feels hard, or if you feel like you already fell off track and quit and ditched the goals, you're not alone in the experience of things being hard, but lean into support. Don't lean out into the surrender, right? Because nothing will get done there. So I'm going to close by asking you, what are you willing to commit to in order to keep all of your dreams and goals alive, in order to move the needle on a daily basis to have it come true? What are you willing to commit to? I created a special offer that's going to run for 90 days in the name of commitment to self, to your life, to your vision, to be able to support, to share out, inspire, motivate, encourage, hold us accountable. So if you're interested in joining a group, offer that will really look to journey together for the first quarter of 2023, hit me in the DM, the email, all the places, you know how to find me, and ask and inquire about, the commitment, what's involved in the commitments. Because if you don't commit to your life and your goals and your dreams and your healing, who's going to do it? No one else could do it for you. So this is an invitation to join me in a, private container that's going to allow for us to really roll up the sleeves and do some work, because your resolutions and your goals and your dreams, they're suddenly not fading and disappearing. There are some other variables that are getting in the way, and we're going to blow those out of the water so that you can turn out what you want to turn out. So new year, same you. And this time it's my hope that you commit in a way that you potentially haven't committed yet to yourself, to your dreams, and to your chapter next, right? Because your next chapter hasn't been written yet, and you possess the pen. So let's write a good chapter, you all. Let's write a good chapter. And scratch good, let's say great. Let's write a great chapter, but it requires you to actually come forward in a new way. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. We kick off that commitment on Thursday, January 19th in a private Zoom room, because while 70% of people are abandoning their resolutions and goals by that date, we are going to be committing to ours. So my question to you is, are you committed to you? Hit me in the DM, hit me in the email to say yes, get the details, and let's get started, because there's a lot of things that you want to create, and I want to ride alongside you as you do so. So thank you for being here with me in this way. Fulfilled new year to each of you. And I look forward to hearing from you. Urgency is the name of this game. So when you hear this episode, jump in, commit. And until we meet again in this way, I want to say thank you for tuning in to this episode of the V-Spot. To be continued.